Imagine you find yourself in an accident. You've been injured. It's not something anyone plans for, but it happens. The insurance company comes in with an offer. But how do you know if it's fair? How do you make sure you're getting what you truly deserve? Have you thought about the time off work, the daily inconveniences, and the less obvious impacts an injury can bring to your life, which are often overlooked when dealing with insurance companies? That's where a firm like Morgan & Morgan comes into play, because having the right legal team on your side matters. Morgan & Morgan isn't just any law firm. They're America's largest injury law firm. With over 30 years of fighting for clients, they understand the importance of evaluating your case thoroughly. Morgan & Morgan has achieved verdicts of $12.2 million in Florida, $26.2 million in Pennsylvania, $6.8 million in New York, just to name a few. These aren't mere statistics. They symbolize individuals who, with adept legal assistance, obtain compensation far exceeding the initial proposals made by insurance companies. What makes Morgan & Morgan stand out is their commitment to each case. They don't just settle for the first offer. They're prepared to go the extra mile. And the best part? It's absolutely free to see if you have a case. And they only get paid if you win. If you were ever injured in an accident, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. You can start your claim in just a click without having to leave your couch. To start your claim, visit www.forthepeople.com/dreadcaptures. To the captures. In this fascinating trail photo, we see an unexpected scene. A deer stands defiantly, facing a peculiar creature that's hard to identify. Let's dive deep into this. When you look closely, your attention is drawn to the deer, standing alert and protective against this mysterious figure. The creature seems ready for action, giving off a vibe of potential danger. Its looks, however, have us scratching our heads. It has dark fur, glowing eyes, and no tail in sight. These uncommon features make it hard to link it to any animal we know. Honestly, it looks like a giant otter to me at first glance. And another thing, the deer is on alert, but she doesn't seem to be overly scared of being face to face with this creature. Could it be perhaps a legendary creature like a skinwalker? The idea of beings that can change into different forms is both captivating and chilling. Though it's tempting to think this creature might be from a world of myths and legends, it's important to keep our feet on the ground. We must always approach mysteries with an open yet skeptical mind, considering various explanations. Delving deeper, asking questions, and seeking expert opinions will be crucial in truly understanding this mysterious world. Here, we have a Trailcam capture of a frightening primate running through the dense forest. According to the submitter, this photo was taken in a remote part of Washington state. If this photo is indeed real, this creature looks a little too small to be a Bigfoot. Perhaps a juvenile specimen? Or could we be looking at something else? There have been legends of primates lurking in the North American woods for hundreds of years. Bigfoot, of course, is the largest, but there are others. We've heard stories of a supposedly mythical creature called the North American Great Ape. This beast resembles Bigfoot in some aspects, but is reported to be smaller and less human. Simply put, it is a large primate, similar to a silverback gorilla, that has found a home range in the American wilderness. We've also heard stories of smaller primates that inhabit the same areas. Some of these are described simply as wild monkeys of various types, while others are reported to be a monkey-human hybrid. What are your thoughts on the matter? Do you think there are primates living in North America, or do you think it's an elaborate conspiracy theory? Let me know what you all think. This next video was taken during a youth backpacking trip, as part of a summer program to introduce kids to nature. I don't think they intended for these kids to have an encounter with North America's most popular cryptid, but one thing is certain. This isn't a trip any of them will soon forget. The group was on a 3-day backpacking trip in Sierra Nevada mountains. Because many of these kids weren't experienced backpackers, They chose to take an easier trail. However, that particular trail, while not high in elevation, led the group down into a secluded valley on the other side of a prominent ridge, just on the other side of the mountains. While the trail wasn't too difficult, it was remote. The group hadn't passed any other hiker since they left the trailhead. They were out in the wild, but they weren't alone. Take a look at the ridge. You can clearly see someone walking along it, descending down towards the forest. The problem? There aren't any trails up there, and the person does not appear to be carrying any hiking gear. The group was at least 5 miles from the trailhead at the time of this encounter. If this is a man, he is likely one of those fabled wild men that live off-grid in the most remote places of the world. However, if you take a closer look, the man appears to be covered in thick hair. This would lead me to believe we are looking at none other than Bigfoot. The group watched the Bigfoot walk down the ridge and into the cover of the trees. They all had difficulty sleeping that night at camp, but it didn't appear the creature wanted anything to do with them. They didn't see any signs of it on the remainder of the trip. However, I can promise you this, none of them returned to the area after that. Reddit user Sir Cartier shared a black and white family photograph taken in the 1930s in Gary, Indiana. At first glance, it might appear to be a typical vintage snapshot. However, a closer look reveals a detail that has since sparked widespread intrigue and debate. Both the original poster and other viewers pointed out an eerie detail. A mysterious child seems to be crouching next to a man's legs on the far right of the image. When you zoom in, there's a distinct appearance of child's face peeking out from the shadows. This unexpected detail has left the family, who doesn't recognize this child, scratching their heads, trying to uncover who this unknown figure might be. Some observers suggest that the curious appearance of the child could be a classic case of pareidolia. This psychological phenomenon is when our brains perceive familiar patterns or images, like faces in places where they don't actually exist. According to this theory, the shadowy figure that seems so clear to some might just be a play of light and shadows on the photo, tricking our brains into seeing something that isn't there. Yet, not everyone is convinced by this explanation. Some Reddit users firmly believe the mysterious child's presence is far from being a simple illusion. One user shares the opinion that they would bet their money on this because it's just perfect and weird. The debates are still ongoing. Is it a case of pareidolia playing tricks on our minds? Or does the photograph conceal a deeper mystery? Perhaps even something paranormal? As the discussion continues, one thing is certain. The seemingly childlike face in the image has captured many people's attention and imagination. While skeptics may be quick to brush off the mysterious figure as nothing more than an optical illusion, others can't help but wonder if this photo might be hiding a long-lost secret or an otherworldly event. Check out this photo taken by a trail camera in the woods. At first, you might think it's just a regular forest backdrop, but look again. Do you see that large, furry figure hiding behind the trees in the background? The creature's identity is unknown, and frankly, impossible to distinguish considering the angle and subpar clarity of the camera capture. However, from what we can see, this creature doesn't seem to fit the mold for any known animal. It's walking on 2 legs, much like a human, and it seems pretty tall compared to the trees around it. This photo has been floating around the internet, and while most people believe they are looking at a black bear standing on its hind legs, there are others who believe it is a Bigfoot, or maybe even a gorilla. Judging from the dark outline of the creature, I think that could certainly be the case, but I'd like to open the discussion to you. What do you think this creature is? Are we looking at a regular old bear, or could this really be photographic evidence of Bigfoot? Let me know in the comments. In this video clip, we observe 3 dogs that are locked, loaded, and ready for a fight. They are barking and very aggressive towards something lurking off camera in the darkness. A few moments later, the dogs retreat quickly as a killing machine enters the scene, not the least bit worried. I'm thinking that the dogs might have initially tried to intimidate the gator, feeling confident with their strength in numbers. However, the alligator, not willing to tolerate this, decides he'll just walk up and see what all the fuss is about. Animals are naturally protective of their territories, and it's evident that the alligator is encroaching on what seems to be a comfort spot for the dogs. This gave the dogs a valid reason to defend their space and try to assert their dominance. However, the alligator seems unconcerned about respecting boundaries, and he knows that these dogs can't cause him any harm. This scenario illustrates the classic principle of survival of the fittest. The dog's choice to retreat was a wise one, as engaging further could have ended very badly. It's likely that one or all of the dogs would have ended up a meal had they continued to challenge the alligator. In early 2022, a curious photograph emerged on Reddit that left viewers in a state of shock and intrigue. This particular image showed a young girl, cheerfully posing with her new dog on a couch. But what captured everyone's attention was the strange, shadowy figure lurking in the background. Lacking any clear facial or body features, only the outline of its torso and head could be seen, while the rest of it was shrouded in darkness. The person who uploaded the photo provided some context in subsequent comments. The setting of the image was the home of a close friend who lived approximately a quarter-mile away. At the time the photo was taken, the girl was alone in the house. She was simply trying to capture a sweet moment with her new pet to share on Facebook. However, the backdrop of her life added a layer of complexity to the narrative. It was revealed that she had been grappling with drug addiction and was even suspected of stealing from her own family. The Reddit user felt that perhaps her turbulent life and negative energies might have drawn the shadowy figure into the frame. As speculations grew, some believed the entity might represent the dark energy emanating from the family's ongoing challenges. When people tried to enhance the photo or apply filters to get a clearer view, the shadowy figure's intensity remained unwavering. Some observers even claimed to identify what seemed like facial features and a cross imprinted on its hand. With the family's turmoil escalating, they made the difficult decision to sell their home. The friend who posted the photo now grapples with an ethical dilemma. Should they tell the new homeowners about the potential paranormal being in the house? They're torn between not wanting to alarm the new residents and feeling an obligation to warn them, especially if the dark presence could be harmful. The tale of the shadowy figure has left both the original poster and the larger online community scratching their heads. The lingering question is, what could this mysterious entity truly be? I mean, how is this real? Look at this freaking thing. This is called a carpet snake, or more commonly referred to as the carpet python, found in various subspecies across regions. This is just crazy. I can't imagine having a python on the roof of my house. These non-venomous constrictors eat small mammals and birds, so I guess that's what attracted him. Adults commonly measure 2 to 3 meters in length, but some can exceed 4 meters. Their weight ranges between 5 to 15 kilos, depending on size. I can't believe he didn't fall when he transferred from the roof to the tree. These snakes grow throughout their lives, though growth slows after maturity. If you're in Australia or visiting, always be cautious and respectful around any wild animal, including carpet pythons. While they're not venomous, they can deliver a painful bite if threatened or provoked. Next up, we have a short clip of a beaver hiding in the grass. But that's not all that is going on here. The creature hunkers down and freezes, a known defense for small prey animals to avoid being eaten by predators. While maybe not the best course of action should the hungry predator rely on scent, It often works against predators who are vision-based. So what exactly is this little creature hiding from? Take a look at who casually walks across the frame in the next moment. The beast is too large to fit within the confines of the camera lens, but we don't need the full picture to know we are looking at the legs of a Bigfoot. Luckily for our rodent friend, the Bigfoot seems completely uninterested. The video quality is not ideal, but we are still able to examine the creature's gait. Look how easily it strides on two legs. Some biologists theorize that the Bigfoot sightings reported across North America are actually a large, undocumented species of gorilla, but videos like this seem to disprove that idea. While primates are indeed capable of standing on two legs, they do not walk with the same ease as humans do. But then again, we are assuming this video is an authentic capture and not an edit. I'd love to hear your theories on this down in the comment. While not everything in this video involves the supernatural, this is still an incredible clip. Check out this trail camera footage capturing a bobcat's encounter with a hungry coyote. The bobcat enters a cave and immediately realizes its decision was a mistake. Although we're uncertain about what the bobcat encountered within the cave, it was significant enough to make the cat dash out of the cave in a state of panic, straight into the path of the hungry coyote. The coyote puts in a valiant effort to catch the bobcat, but the bobcat somehow manages to escape. Unfortunately for the coyote, it will need to search for another meal if it wants to have a meal tonight. In Monterrey, Mexico, an event unfolded that left everyone that saw it dumbfounded. Its strangeness even caught the attention of the local media as well as all social media platforms. Hovering in the sky was a peculiar, aggressive creature that none of the local residents or wildlife experts recognized. At first, it resembled a hawk, so that's what they thought it was. But as it dove down towards people and they were able to get a better look at it, it was clear it was something entirely different. Local wildlife experts managed to capture it, though it proved to be very difficult due to its super strength and tenacity. This is what they all saw. The being appeared bird-like, yet it lacked a beak. Instead, its mouth resembled that of a frog or lizard. It's probably best described as a mix of a reptile and a bird, maybe some type of hybrid species. I'd love to know if anyone has ever seen this creature or anything like it. Next up, we have some wild footage to review. Could this be real, or are we looking at a wild hoax? With so much emphasis on social media, we are seeing more and more fake paranormal videos simply created to gain popularity on the web. This makes it harder and harder to pick out the true encounters from the fakes. But that can be the fun part as well. So let's take a look at this next submission and have a discussion in the comments. Is this a real cryptid encounter? And if so, what type of creature are we looking at? We start this story with a group of campers set up deep in the woods. They claim to have heard screaming and crying coming from somewhere in the woods when they all go out to investigate. Believing someone was in distress, they move quickly. Not long after leaving their campsite, they stumbled upon a triangular structure erected from sticks and found pieces of wood. The structure itself was crudely put together, but clearly the work of a human, or at least something with similar intelligence levels and abilities. The group ventured closer to the structure and found the source of the wailing in the woods. Do you see the woman in the center of the structure? She appears to be held there against her will. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, this disturbing creature appears. At first glance, it looks like a crawler or a rake. But when we pause the video, you can see it has at least 4 arms and moves in the same fashion as a large insect. Not something I'd want to run into in the woods, that's for sure. Could this creature be real? It doesn't look like any of the established cryptids we know about. And if it was real, what happened to those campers? And the woman tied up in the wooden structure? Let us know your thoughts. Just recently, on August 3rd, 2023, there was an astonishing potential Bigfoot sighting at Yellowstone National Park. The video's description states, "My buddy captured these two figures in Yellowstone today. At first glance, he mistook them for bears, but he did a double take and noticed they were literally walking on two legs the entire time."
Bear.
When the park rangers saw the footage, one remarked, "Wow, looks like you've just captured Bigfoot on camera." The man said the look on the park ranger's face was priceless and he wished he had gotten that on film. Here's the clip. It showcases two seemingly hairy, sizable beings wandering near the Yellowstone River. The person filming was driving on Grand Loop Road when these creatures caught his eye. He kept glancing over, then decided this was too good to miss. So he pulled into a small access road to get the video. Many internet viewers are convinced these are Bigfoots. I will say this. Given that this is a recent event, I expect skeptics and experts to closely analyze the footage soon. So far, there hasn't been much critique of the video, at least as far as I'm aware. Regardless of anyone's opinion, this clip is undeniably intriguing. I'll keep everyone posted if there are any new findings. Here we have some still frames taken from a rather shaky video. We've tried to enhance them for better viewing quality, but there just wasn't much to work with. What we can tell for certain is that the creature is covered in black fur and appears to be capable of moving on both two legs and four. However, its identity remains a mystery. In each frame, the creature looks a little different. It's as if it were a mashup of several different animals. For example, from one angle, the creature's head appears to be that of a pig. In other angles, it looks strikingly similar to a canine or even a bear. Could this be a new cryptid, or perhaps it was someone's experiment that got loose from whatever holding facility was keeping it secret? We didn't get much information accompanying the video submission. It simply said, "You need to see this." But let us know your thoughts. Is this a fake? Could this be a misidentified animal? And if so, what kind of creature are we looking at? In 2003, the world was blown away by an unusual story of a unique creature. This entity had extended limbs and sharp claws, known for its seemingly random aggressive acts. The narrative quickly circulated through many media platforms, all clamoring to convey the spine-chilling tales. Among these stories, a specific video appeared from a secret location in England. It displayed a daring individual walking through an empty playground, his camera having an infrared capability. As he walked through, he suddenly saw a mysterious being sitting atop the slide. The creature's eyes lit up when it saw the man, and with incredible speed, it vanished into the creepy darkness. Out of nowhere, the swings behind him started shaking fiercely. And then, of course, the recording eerily ended. Many commenters think this is a creature known as the Rake. While some naysayers think the Rake to be mere fiction, others are convinced by such encounters like these. The Rake has become increasingly popular, sparking the creativity of numerous fans, leading to gripping stories, fan-made videos, and even entire movies based on its haunting quality. Yet, the question of the Rake remains a hot topic, stirring debate about the real essence of this eerie being. This next video uploaded to TikTok proves that things don't always have to involve the paranormal to be creepy. Apparently, viewers had been asking the TikToker why her curtains were always closed in her videos. She then shows her audience the reason. Watch. Standing behind a rather tall tree, a man watches the TikToker, barely concealed by the branches. He clearly looks as though he's peering in through the window.
One viewer wondered if the man was standing on a ladder, or perhaps even the top of the fence itself. Either way, he seems to move rather quickly once he realizes he's being filmed. What a freaking sketchball. While the TikToker seems relatively calm about the situation, many of her followers were more concerned. Some even suggested that she should call the police. So what would you do if you spotted someone watching you from the bushes? Take matters into your own hands or call the police? Let me know. This incident became a buzz on TikTok in May. Two women, working as security guards during the night, experienced something they hadn't anticipated. Their video description said, "On night duty from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., and something approaches us at midnight." Here's their unsettling experience.
Who is it? Raylan!
The silhouette in the video appears almost see-through. It looks like a vague, ghost-like figure moving directly toward them. You can sense their fear by their voices as they hastily start their car and leave. What could that be? Some individuals were fast to judge them, commenting, "Aren't you security personnel? Why run?" But honestly, who wouldn't be scared? It's like a scene from a scary film. Many comments suggested the presence of supernatural entities, adding to the intrigue. A humorous remark suggested it was their supervisor checking on them for being on TikTok. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. In the heart of Brazil's jungle, biologists stumbled upon something extraordinary on a secluded island near the Amazon River. They came across a humpback whale, and they were pretty blown away, given that these creatures typically reside in Antarctica's chilly waters. The biologists' attention was captured by vultures circling above a towering mangrove tree on the island. Curiosity piqued, they explored further, and were stunned to find a 26-foot-long humpback whale's motionless body ensnared in dense undergrowth, roughly 50 yards from the coastline. Authorities verified that the whale had died of natural causes a few days prior. The discovery baffled researchers, especially since many of the humpback whales that lived in the ocean close to Brazil usually journeyed south to Antarctica in summertime for sustenance. Finding a humpback whale near the Amazon's entrance, about 4,000 miles from its typical environment, left experts scratching their heads. Confronted with the enormity of the whale and the site's isolation, the determined biologists meticulously inspected the massive mammal during low tide, gathering specimens, but couldn't relocate the entire creature. They would do this for days when the tide would go out. They pondered various hypotheses for the whale's demise, like entanglement in fishing gear or ship collisions. Regrettably, they could never gather any definitive proof. Undeterred, the biologists' drive to uncover this amazing mystery remained unshaken. The discovery of this whale in such an atypical location intensified their intrigue, spurring them on in their investigative endeavors. Gene Sourwine has spent hours fishing off Florida shores and is ready to pack up. He throws his line into the tranquil blue sea one final time, awaiting a catch. Suddenly, he spots something massive beneath the waves. It's only partial views, but it appears enormous, like something from ancient times. A serpent-like head briefly appears before submerging again. But this isn't just a snake. It has a vast, rounded frame and webbed fins, stretching beyond 14 feet and weighing seemingly over a ton.
Out of the water, and since there's not a dorsal fin on it, it's unlikely that it would be some kind of dolphin.
Gene recognizes the significance, but for credibility, he needs video proof and an eyewitness. Racing back to land, he fetches his sibling and a camera. Hoping the colossal marine creature lingered, they return and begin to fish. Their footage captures the undeniably present Leviathan.
Look. That's what you're talking about? No. I saw.
Experts and online skeptics have struggled to identify the creature from the video. It's not clear-cut whether it's genuine or a fabrication. This mysterious sighting even made its way to a Monster Quest episode on the History Channel, where it remained unexplained. Interestingly, 19th century tales tell of mariners spotting immense sea creatures near Jacksonville, Florida. Described as large-bodied with snake-like heads, these monsters were said to aggressively tail ships. Might this video validate those old sailor tales? This video captures police cam footage during a large wildfire in Sonoma County, California in 2017. It's an intense situation. Officers were working hard to get people to safety and manage the situation, but the dash cam footage reveals the sheer pandemonium they faced. If you pay attention, you'll hear the dispatcher voice their uncertainty about which way the fire is moving.
Someone from the fire department experienced dispatch. I asked her, she said she was unaware of which way the fire is going. They have so many fires, they can't really keep track at this point, and they all...
Clearly sounding overwhelmed. Kudos to this officer and all other dedicated public servants who courageously stepped into the fire's path to assist others. Fire is a common element we see in movies and life, yet its true power and rage is felt only when directly experienced. It's a truly alarming scene. A seemingly normal bus ride through the Russian countryside takes a startling turn when the bus becomes engulfed by an endless swarm of flying insects. The passengers inside are startled and afraid when out of nowhere, a multitude of enormous locusts hit the bus, actually jolting the bus's powerful suspension system. The sky turns dark, and there's a sense of helplessness among the driver and passengers as the bus navigates through the thousands of gigantic bugs, risking veering off the side of the road. Eventually, they emerge from this living cloud of insects and can see daylight peeking through. While everyone is physically okay, they are deeply shaken by the experience. Had the bus malfunctioned, they would have been stuck until the endless swarm moved on. In the same token, crazy to think what could have happened if all the windows had been opened. Take a look at this footage taken from the front of an ATV driving along a trail in the woods of Michigan. The owner of this video said they were heading to their backwoods campsite after a day of off-roading in the area. The campground was only accessible by foot or by ATV, and they were the only ones there that weekend, being it was so late in the year. It is difficult to see, so watch closely. Far ahead of the vehicle, you can see something pale cross the road. It appears to be a man, hunched over and wearing a long robe or coat, just as ghostly white as he is. Now, maybe it's just a glitch in the camera. It is night after all, and cameras can struggle to create accurate pictures in less than ideal circumstances. However, there's a little more to this story that might suggest we just witnessed a ghost. This particular area has been rumored to be haunted since the late 1800s, when the child of a farmer met a grisly end on the nearby train track. The girl was only 14 and her father was never able to accept her death. He wouldn't view her body after she was recovered and was convinced she had run away instead. His family fell apart, and he was diagnosed with psychosis. The legend says he went out every night searching for her until old age made him unable to walk, and he finally died soon thereafter. And while the girl was the one who died in the area, it is her father that haunts the road you see here in this video. Next, we have footage from a couple on a camping adventure in their nearby state park. While they weren't too far into the wild, they encountered something quite creepy. The nighttime setting makes it hard for the camera to show a clear figure, but there's certainly something moving out there. It has the shape of a person, yet the couple was certain they were alone that night. Additionally, this figure seemed to be aimlessly roaming, far from any path, without any visible camping equipment. For context, the couple mentioned that this camping spot was a 6-mile walk from the parking lot, and they had brought all their equipment with them. Hence, seeing someone there without gear was rather peculiar. Both believe they might have seen Bigfoot, though they didn't capture any definitive proof. They vowed never to return to that site. What's your take? Just a mysterious person wandering in the forest, or possibly a glimpse of Bigfoot? While not every clip we showcase suggests otherworldly activity, this one is truly puzzling. A trail camera captured the beginning of a forest fire, but its development is baffling. The fire seems to ignite suddenly on a dead log at the center, then it seems to mysteriously jump to random sections of the forest. Portions of the forest catch fire with no clear link between them. It's inexplicable. Note the flame's color. Normally, forest fires exhibit shades of red, orange, and yellow. The colors here could be due to extremely high temperatures or metals presence, like the green from burning copper. So, what's truly happening? Could this be manipulated footage? If there was a genuine fire, how did the camera withstand the intensity? Oddly, historical data indicates that this location had experienced fires before. Yet, despite the video, no recent signs of fire damage were found when the camera's owner inspected the area. If I were to theorize, it seems like a ghostly echo of the past might have been recorded. It's not unheard of for places to hold memories of intense events. Perhaps the spirits of the forest, or the forest itself, replayed the trauma of an earlier blaze. It's a remarkable clip. Let me know your thoughts on this, or if you've seen anything like it. In Paducah, Kentucky, a huge lightning bolt was so prominent that 2 police dash cams captured it. One police car was at a distance, and its footage clearly displayed the length of this immense bolt of lightning. Meanwhile, the second police car was significantly closer.
If you could go back through it, well, 2 reasons. One, it would be... I gotta get off.
The lightning directly struck a house nearby. Thankfully, all occupants were safe. However, this event is something the officer nearby will always remember, given the close call with such powerful nature. Many believe that animals can detect the supernatural better than humans. A video shared on TikTok by Whit Marie One may be proof of this. In the footage, as she goes to check on her horses, they seem to behave oddly, intently gazing at some nearby trees. Despite her calling, it takes them a while to respond. As the horses come closer, an unusual sound is picked up by the camera, a voice saying, "Hey." Followed by unsettling laughter. Many who've seen the video speculate that a skinwalker might be responsible. Skinwalkers, originating from legends, are believed to be supernatural beings with the ability to shape-shift into various animals. They often do this to deceive or cause harm. Could it be that this video captures a skinwalker in action? Maybe it was concealed among the trees or had taken control of one of her horses. You be the judge. This first video just might give you goosebumps. Before we dive deep, I want to know your opinion. I want you to look closely during the video and with your best educated guess. Let me know. Do you think the creature in this video might be a Bigfoot, a skinwalker, or a shapeshifter? It looks pretty strange. The video is set in a thick forest with open green fields. The person filming finds something interesting. He notices an unusual pile of branches that looks like a basic shelter, but it doesn't seem man-made. Things get eerie when strange noises come from the depths of the woods, making him quickly back away. However, he's too curious and continues to explore. As the weird noises happen again, He zooms in with the camera and sees a mysterious creature hidden in the trees. The trees seem to be filled with tension, as if they're also scared of this strange being. While our brave videographer stays put, there's a point when it's best to listen to nature's warning signs. After a few more spooky moments and identifying where the noises are coming from, he quickly leaves. When we slow down the video, we can see the mysterious shadowy figure standing tall among the trees. This video leaves us with questions. What is this creature? Some think it's a skinwalker, others guess a shapeshifter. What do you think? Do you think it's real? The following footage originates from Yellowstone National Park located in Wyoming. Given the park's extreme popularity as a tourist destination, it's monitored by numerous security systems. These high-tech surveillance cameras dot various points across the expanse of the park. They are managed and overseen by highly reputable park personnel. That sets the context for why the ensuing clip is so captivating. Shared on TikTok in August, the clip features some sizable entities wandering through the forest. When we widen the shot, the scene becomes even more intriguing. These two-legged beings certainly mirror the descriptions of Bigfoot. Note that this area is rather secluded, making it improbable for a regular person to be roaming there. Considering their stature and girth, they couldn't possibly be humans. They seem to be covered in fur from top to bottom. While Yellowstone is known for its breathtaking beauty and wonder, many cryptozoologists claim that Yellowstone is a major hub for Bigfoot sightings, with numerous reports emerging annually from this park alone. Given these facts, it's understandable why many say that these are genuine Sasquatches captured on film. Both park officials and the online community remain astounded by the video. It's undeniably compelling evidence. In 2019, Donald Bromley installed a trail camera near his home in Redgate, Montana, aiming to document the movements of local wildlife. However, instead of capturing wild animals, he discovered something unexpected. The camera Donald used was designed to take a series of consecutive photos whenever it sensed motion. To his surprise, one set of photos revealed a figure, a grayish, bald entity with no distinguishable features. It resembled a human silhouette, but there was something eerie and unfamiliar about it. Could it be an extraterrestrial presence lurking in the darkness? When speaking to a news station in an interview, Donald shared his initial reaction. He had thought it might be a person, but the more he examined the image, the more he began to doubt that conclusion. Redgate, which is located near Deer Lodge, is known for its unexplained occurrences. In the circles of paranormal and UFO enthusiasts, Redgate is often labeled a place of high strangeness. This term suggests that the area frequently witnesses mysterious and inexplicable events. They also mention that your car may just stop running or your headlights turn off and on unexplainably. This isn't the first time such a peculiar incident has been associated with this region. This area has the most alien sightings per capita in the United States. In Great Falls during the 1950s, a noteworthy event took place. Around 11:30 in the morning, as Mariana was exploring the reserve seating section at Legion Park, a minor league baseball field, he spotted two shiny spherical objects soaring above the smelter stack of the plant. They were at a height he estimated to be about 5,000 feet. They were extremely shiny discs moving at a high rate of speed. Shocked, Mariana did a double take, rubbing his eyes to ensure he wasn't imagining things. To make sure he wasn't going crazy, he immediately called his secretary over to check it out. And witness what he was seeing. This sighting by Nick Mariana wasn't an isolated incident in 1950. However, what set Mariana's experience apart was concrete evidence.
As I looked up, I saw two silvery objects moving swiftly out of the northwest. They appeared to be moving directly south. The objects were very bright and about 10,000 feet in the air. They appeared to be of a bright, shiny metal, like polished silver. Both were the same size and were traveling at the same rate of speed, which was much slower than the jets which shot by shortly after I filmed the disc.
He had 16mm footage that seemed to show these flying discs. Take a look at what he captured. Later, he was interviewed by the U.S. military. He handed over the video while they did their investigation. After the interview, military officials claimed the video showed nothing but the common fighter jet. He wasn't buying it. Mariana also immediately said that the video had been tampered with. A good 35 seconds at the beginning had been altered. Years later in 1952, Mariana resubmitted the video to the United States Air Force, and a new conclusion was reached. Air Force officials threw out the original conclusion and went on to say that they had ruled out balloons, meteors, birds, and even fighter jets. The objects are currently classified as unidentified, and Mariana's video rests in the National Archives. So, given these accounts, one has to wonder, is this region a magnet for extraterrestrial encounters? The video clip recently shared on Instagram has left many scratching their heads. It captures a remarkable scene of the night sky, where a bizarre light pulsates brightly. However, the mystery deepens as thick clouds appear to block part of this illumination. Check it out.
Seem normal to anyone else? Oh shoot.
Many who've seen this clip have exclaimed that they've observed a similar phenomenon before. While some are quick to dismiss it as a hoax, others believe it might be related to the so-called Project Bluebeam. For those unfamiliar with Project Bluebeam, theorists suggest that NASA, in collaboration with the United Nations, is developing advanced technology that can project large-scale simulations into the sky using satellites placed in various locations around our planet. According to this conspiracy theory, with the help of the supposed Antichrist, these projections would simulate events such as the second coming of Jesus. The purported endgame? To unify all of humanity under a single religion within the framework of Project Bluebeam. Advocates of this theory believe this would pave the way for establishing total global control, setting the stage for the rapid inception of the New World Order. In simple terms, some folks believe that powerful groups are using high-tech methods to stage massive sky events, tricking people into following a new global order. It's a fascinating and controversial topic, and this recent video has only added more fuel to the fire. Let me know if you've heard about this supposed project, and what you think about what was captured on film. Just a feel-good story here. A crew were out rafting when they noticed a bald eagle was hurt and struggling to get to shore. Check this out and watch till the end when she calms down and cuddles up with the guy. Also, check out the talons. What a creature and what a story. The upcoming video features a man who was enjoying a daytime hike. After trekking for a bit, he came across an open space and began hearing unusual, almost unhuman sounds. He promptly took out his camera to record, and suddenly a figure emerges from the distance. Many label this as a potential Bigfoot encounter. The being seems notably broader and taller than your typical human, and while details are tricky to determine, zooming in hints at a possibility, the figure is covered in hair. The original uploader titled the video, "So you don't believe in Bigfoot?" Given the short length of the video and its limited context, it's challenging to definitively claim its authenticity. However, the setting appears to be somewhere in the countryside of the United States. This clip certainly leaves us pondering and filled with questions. The unsettling video you're about to witness was first shared by Express, and it captured an event that happened right in Colombia. Picture yourself just walking down the street, minding your own business, and then suddenly you hear this eerie crying sound. It stops you dead in your tracks. You're not the only one. Other passersby stop too. Everyone looking around to find the source of the noise. In the video, you can make out the figure of a woman who appears to be perched high up in a tree. Now, the footage isn't crystal clear. It's actually a bit blurry. Because of that, we can't see any distinct physical features. However, it does look like she's wearing a light, almost transparent dress. People who saw this are starting to think that this could be La Llorona, a well-known figure in folklore. For those not familiar with the story, La Llorona is most commonly described as an indigenous woman who had children with a wealthy Spaniard. When he abandoned her, she was so consumed by despair that she killed her own kids. She's said to roam around wailing in sorrow, forever mourning her lost children. So now the big questions are, what is this figure really? Could it actually be the legendary La Llorona? Or is this just some kind of prank meant to freak people out? The jury's still out, but the footage is certainly causing a lot of chatter. Let me know if you all have heard of this story. The mysterious yet touching video from an aged care home has captivated many. This particular footage comes from Norton Hall, a residential care home located in a historic building near the city of Worcester. This home is dedicated to providing long-term care for the elderly. But recently, a peculiar event has left both staff and residents puzzled. Night after night, they reported hearing the distinctive sound of a cat meowing, echoing through the hallways, even though there was no sign of a cat in the facility. Taking it upon himself to solve the mystery, the caretaker conducted a thorough search of the property, hoping to find and calm the restless feline. Despite his best efforts, the source of the meowing remained elusive. Hoping to get to the bottom of this mystery, the facility set up a camera in the corridor where the meows were most frequently heard. What they captured was as baffling as it was unsettling. The footage showed a cat wandering past the lens. But here's the twist. The cat appeared transparent, almost ghostly. Even more eerie, the night that this footage was taken turned out to be significant. Martha Mildred Jones, one of the residents of Norton Hall, passed away peacefully in her sleep that very night. In her younger years, Martha was known for running a cat shelter. The most chilling part? After this eerie occurrence, the phantom meows ceased entirely. No more cat sounds were reported. This leaves us with an intriguing question. Could the spectral cat have been there to guide Martha on her journey to the next life? In this Reddit post, a user shares a video captured on their driveway late at night. At first, everything seems perfectly normal. But then, out of nowhere, a mist begins to form in one corner of the frame. What makes it especially odd is its color, a distinct shade of green. As the camera angle shifts, we see a dog in the scene, and this dog seems to be staring intently at this unusual mist. People in the comments have started to speculate about what this could be, and one suggestion that keeps coming up is that this mist might be an ectomist, also commonly referred to as a ghost mist. These terms are often thrown around in discussions about paranormal phenomena. Ghost mist is said to be present when spirits are around, taking various forms like swirling fog in a cemetery or a cloud of smoke in a supposedly haunted location. It's not just a Hollywood gimmick. This kind of mist is often featured in scary movies because many believe it's the real deal. There are several theories that aim to explain the nature of this mysterious mist. Some experts in the paranormal field suggest that ectomist is actually the lingering energy or remnants left behind by spirits. On the other hand, some believe that the mist is not just leftover energy, but rather spirits themselves, having actively transformed into a gaseous state. They say the spirits do this to move around more easily, and possibly to attract attention to themselves. So whether you're a believer in the supernatural or just intrigued by the unexplained, this strange green mist captured on video definitely gives us all something to talk about. In our next clip, we dig into yet another mysterious UFO sighting. By this point, it seems like nearly every city and country around the globe had had its own UFO encounter. And now Ireland is joining the list. In the footage we're about to show you, there's an unusual object spotted floating in the sky. The movement of this object is notably slow and steady, which makes it all the more intriguing. From a distance, the object appears to have a rather peculiar shape and is dark in color. This has led to a wave of speculation online about what it could possibly be. Some people commenting on the video have suggested that it's most likely just a balloon floating aimlessly. Others have chimed in to say it looks more like a drone, although it doesn't exactly match the typical appearance we've come to expect from drones. So, the million-dollar question remains. Can we safely assume that this is an extraterrestrial craft? It's a topic open to debate, but one thing's for sure. It adds another layer of mystery to the ongoing conversation about UFOs and what they could potentially mean for us here on Earth. So there's this really bizarre video that's been making the rounds on the internet. It was captured on a security camera and later posted for the world to see. Now, this strange sighting took place late at night in the UK. If you watch the footage, you'll notice this really strange creature, almost unidentifiable, crawling down the side of a building. After that, it leaps onto the roof of a parked car and then sprints across the street, eventually vanishing into the darkness. So here's the big question. What are we actually looking at here? Is this some kind of undiscovered cryptid, but in a smaller, creepier form? Or could it just be something way simpler, like a spider that's crawling down right in front of the camera lens? We've all seen those optical illusions where something seems larger or smaller than it actually is because of the angle or the lighting. So maybe this isn't as paranormal or otherworldly as it first seems. I'm really curious to hear what you all think about this video. Is it a glimpse into the unknown or just a trick of the camera? In this video, we travel to a place that won't exactly remind you of Bigfoot. This place is rather dry looking, without the usual green plants and trees we see in lively nature spots. As you watch, you might notice a small moving shadow in this stark environment. Could this shadowy silhouette be the famous Bigfoot? The person who recorded the video certainly thinks so, and a lot of paranormal enthusiasts agree. Some point out that even though it walks like a person, it moves faster than any person could, lending credence to the Bigfoot theory. Personally, I'm not sure. I just can't tell. What's strange is that stories about Bigfoot usually don't tell of it walking out in the open like this. Is this possibly someone in a costume, or are we seeing genuine evidence? I'd love to hear what you think, so let me know. Check out this incredible black wolf. This specific video comes from Yellowstone Park. A massive wolf steps out of the forest and onto the pathway, clearly showcasing that it's a dominant male. Most adult wolves weigh around 60 to 70 pounds, though the heaviest documented tipped the scales at an impressive 143 pounds. While there's no denying their allure, a close encounter can be risky. These wolves are powerful hunters, and can pose a real threat. The individual filming the scene did so from a car, ensuring they stayed at a safe distance. As tempting as it might be to approach, always prioritize safety and maintain a respectful distance. If you ever spot a wolf, especially one that looks as intimidating as this one, just an insane video. Tornadoes absolutely freak me out. Watch this.